Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company Sunday service. Goodness me, we've got a full house tonight. Look at this. It's like a who's, not so much a who's that?
So who cares?
So literally a who cares. So good evening to Jen, Ian and Christopher. How are we all doing, boys and girls?
Fabulous.
Good. Great.
Good, thank you.
Jen, I saw on Thursday, wasn't it, Jen? We were down in that there Yeovilton, which we'll come to in a second. So who wants to do workbench updates then?
I didn't send pictures to Jonathan, but look, the wings are on.
Oh,
wow. This is the Edward Mustang P51D. I can say it's slightly over-engineered, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. I did. You know, it's over. I say it's over-engineered, and then I stick a whole bunch of lead wire in the wheel wells to detail that stuff out. So it's, you know, who am I to speak? But yeah, it's coming right along. The fit of some things, like these breather panels in the nose, are really tight, maybe too tight. But yeah, it's a neat little model. And I'm looking forward to building this and finishing up and working on the next one, which I'll probably do an Armor Mustang, just to compare the two. And yesterday, you'll appreciate this, Jonathan. My big project was working on the decals for the nose art, because I'm doing one there's no decals for, so I had to sit here with my my computer and flop through putting together the it's very rudimentary but you know, important nose art for this particular airplane.
Oh, I'm Mustang nose art, especially checkers. I absolutely detest checkered noses on Mustangs. So I'm always here with masking tape, working out the shapes, and then drawing the shapes with a pencil, then taking that off, putting it under the scanner, and then it's constantly toing and froing to try and get that shape to wrap around the nose. And with checkers is make sure from every angle you look at it, the checkers all line up. And it's a pain dans la derrière, I can tell you. But anyway, right. Well, I will hold on to your horses, everybody, because we've had major progress here with the ICM Hampden. I'm just going to turn the blurred background off for a second. No, there we go. So we have had major progress with the ICM Hampden. Essentially, we got all the major components. Well, the major components aren't together yet, but we got the fuselage halves together. The wings will just slot onto the spars there. In fact, I've just noticed there is a little bit of a sprue tag there that needs cleaning up, but the actual fit is impeccable. A few heart in mouth moments last night trying to make sure all the interior was properly aligned before I closed the fuselage halves up, but credit to ICM, it went together pretty much no problem. So I'm going to let that sit for another couple of days, just let those seams fully dry out. But I am looking forward to chucking some paint on this, quite frankly, because I'm just having a think. Shall I leave the I'm almost tempted to leave the wings off separately and then kind of put them together for transit. But honestly, the fit is so tight. It's absolutely, what a fabulous kit. I really enjoyed that. And Jen, that's an experience you can look forward to.
Yes, because look,
Ta-da!
I has one too. I'm not in my model room. I don't know if you can tell. I'm in my living room, so I can't show you my actual plastic things. But my Defiant is almost finished. So there'll be some pictures of that up by the end of the week, I think, on my page. But these arrived today, courtesy of Mr. Farmer. Can I say that?
You can. And I think
Yeah.
they came courtesy of Jadlam as well. So
Yeah, these are going to be built for the Hobby Co. for November, and I've also got a lorry.
Oh wow!
Does anyone do lorries on YouTube, Ian? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Does anyone
there's a
do
couple.
it? Huh?
Yeah, there's a couple of channels on YouTube for people doing trucks.
There you go. I've got those.
If you actually, funny enough, one of the people you might ping something if you want more information. Start with Nick Allen.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a big trucker. Truck
Oh.
modeler.
Bit of a trucker.
Yeah.
Bit of an old trucker.
But he was a fireman, wasn't he? And so he did a lot of fire engines and stuff. But I know he built truck models, so he might be, just for basics and stuff. To be honest, they're outside of my increasingly narrow field of interest. But there you go.
talking of Mr. Farmer, I had a text message from him yesterday. I can't read that one out, but it's when he thought that it's when he thought Jadlam had the wrong address for Jen. It thought it was the old address, and Mr. Farmer used some Anglo-Saxon. But he said to me, "Got some shiz for you, so need a catch up." Oh, he's got some shiz for me. I don't know what.
A redirect happened, so it was going to the wrong address, but they did get here anyway.
Oh right.
And Royal Mail delivered on a Sunday. When did that start to be a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
recently. Royal Mail. Yeah,
Yeah.
recently. Yeah. I've got one to show you, Joe, if you want. I've got
Right.
something.
Jen,
I've got
shall we dive on to the first news item? And this, oh no, right, Ian, go on. I did say anybody got any projects, and you said no, and that right.
I
there we
didn't
go.
say
You
no.
had
I just kind of went. I put it to one side. This is my current news.
Oh, shiny.
So that's a new Toyota Corona. The kit, in the kit box, it comes with that livery,
Mhm.
which is actually that's a beautiful looking car. The decals in that are absolutely stunning. They're by Platts, and they're just lovely. But this is, as you know, I've got a thing for cars that raced at Macau, and that is Tom Christensen's car, as raced at Macau, and. So I have a little batch of cars raced by Tom Christensen. So a Macau car driven by him was a good double combo. I'm at the point where it needs washing with soapy water to get the remaining decals solvent off of it. And in an experimentation phase, I'll get these, which
Oh, good lord.
I've acquired from abroad, courtesy of a friend of mine and Jennifer's. Who came in very useful, as he also got me that Reveletto, so Rebel, whatever it is. So they're really nice. Very impressed with those. But that's that. Theoretically, that will be on the table at the NEC in a week.
Excellent.
Theoretically.
stuff. Look forward to seeing that. Look forward to seeing you finish that. I'm looking forward to actually getting on with another project once I get the Hamden done. So. Right, shall we? So, Jen, last week, we were in that there Yeovilton for the launch of DBMK's Sea Fury and their Hornet, and some news of some upcoming releases. So, this is the chap from Navy Wings whose name escapes me. I know I wrote it down. No, it's gone. I do apologise to him, but so we had the Navy Wings who were hosting it, and you can see the four-bladed Sea Fury behind him. Then we had Will Packard and Ilya Sobolov of DBMK, and they were doing a run through of the company. And that's their approach. Molded in the UK, it's molded by Plastech, who I believe they're Kent, aren't they? Somebody help me out here. I'm sure they're Plastech. They're in Kent, aren't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
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 So carry on.
Were they the ones that were working with Airfix?
Yes, I think they. Yeah. So I'll just whiz through the presentation they did here, but they try to LiDAR scan as much as they can and go through a very familiar process for me, which is getting the shapes right, then adding the surface detail. You can see various projects there. There's the Scimitar, there's the Spitfires that they're working on. And here we have some images of the tooling, and you can see some of the mold inserts there on the right. Something I'm familiar with, the decals for the Sea Fury. So they've described this as the ancillaries. Quite a bit of slide molding going on with the Sea Fury kit, especially to get those semi-hollow exhaust pipes. Okay, we'll apologize for the language, but there we go. Booting the backside out of it. So here we have some of the details there, the wing fold, the wheel wells. I mean, it's this kit, if you haven't seen it, the level of detail on it is quite incredible. It's really is quite terrific. Oh, and we've lost the slide. And that was a tribute to Konstantin Kolobov, who was one of the designers for DBMK. Sadly lost his life in Ukraine. Tragic waste of a human life there. Yeah, that was really quite a moving section of the presentation. And this is what DBMK are working on at the moment. So the Hornet, which has also been released, they're also doing Supermarine Scimitar in 72nd and 48. Try saying that with your teeth in. And the F11F Tiger in 72nd and 48. And the F105 ditto. And then in 32nd scale, Spitfire Griffon variants. And the Hawker Seahawk in 32nd scale as well. What a fantastic choice that is. Talking about their business model there, and there are some of their partners. And that was, I've got his name written down here. That was the guy from, that was Mark from Plastech. It was Rob from Navy Wings. That's Mark from Plastech. Now, this is what their next projects are going to be. How about that, Chris? 32nd scale Allison Mustang family.
Very nice, very nice. I think that you need it in 32nd scale. There's a gap there, and there's an awful lot of interesting things you can do with those early Mustangs. And they've outlined what that looks like up in their listing of potential kits. Because you get all those, plus you get the weird demonstrators that the North American did that you can probably modify the Mark I into.
I gotta say, I really do like the early Allison engine Mustangs. I just think they are. I mean, they're the beginning of the story, and I have memories. This is where we need the wibbly wobbly effect. I have memories of building the Accurate Miniatures one. Feels like the recent past, 33 years ago. But yeah, just the amount of variants. If we go back there, you can see the number of variants there are. 5 variants out of these Allison engine Mustangs, and color schemes. Goodness me, color schemes galore. Color schemes, you say? Well, the other kit that DBMK are planning on doing in 32nd scale is the Sabre family.
Ooh. Oh my! Well, I hope their bank accounts are ready for it because they should sell a bunch of these.
And you can see they did a very detailed presentation. In fact, the detailed presentation was done by Duncan Curtis, who wrote the book on RAF Sabres. And if I'd have known Duncan was going to be there, I would have brought my book along and fanboyed him, because I would have got it signed. It's a brilliant book. In fact, I was only using it the other week on some of the Sabre artwork that I was working on here. But so this appears to be what they have in mind: F-86A, E, F, and the Canadair Sabre Mark IV. And yes, it looks like they're planning to do the whole Sabre Day Fighter family. Next slide, please. So Duncan was going through all the kind of like the differences between the major variants. So we kicked off with the XP86, and there is Duncan himself explaining all this. Absolutely first class presentation. This is a man who knows his stuff. And then we're on to the early F-86As, and then the A5s. So again, Duncan was going through the differences. Then the A6, A7. And this gives you an idea of the level of research that DBMK are putting into their kits. Then on to the F-86Es, the early Es, and then the later Es, then the Fs, then the later Fs with the wing fences, which were the ones that were used by the Royal Air Force quite a bit with the 6.3 wing, the later Fs with the slatted wings. And there is Will and Ilya doing a publicity photograph for the Sea Fury. And we're back to the beginning again. So Jen, it was a first class presentation, wasn't it?
It was okay, yeah.
It was okay.
I'm not going to lie. I mostly went in order to be in the Navy Wings hangar.
Right.
That was my principal reason for going, for getting access to their collection, which is glorious. And you can't just go there normally, can you? You can't get in there. So that was a big draw for me. I'm quite immune to the Sabre, I have to say. But some of the other releases look interesting whenever they eventually arrive.
Mm-hmm.
But I left on a disappointing note, because I did order and pay for a Sea Fury on the day, and it didn't materialise. A lot of kits were kicking about, but none of us actually got any, which is a bit annoying. So I'm still waiting for that to turn up at this point, so that I can actually do a review of it.
Shane Cowie says, lovely to meet you guys the other day. Navy Wings and the DBMK guys were first class. I'd agree with that.
They put on a good table of biscuits, didn't they?
They did. Shall I show the table of biscuits? I don't know. I'm just checking to see whether we've got the... Actually, no, I don't think
I've... know, but Jonathan, when anyone isn't looking, he is known as the hooded biscuit thief of Somerset.
No.
He was filling his bag with the biscuits.
I was not filling my bag with the biscuits. They had 4 different varieties there, Jennifer, and I had one of each. It's not like I was like putting my hand and scooping them into my bag. Anyway, look, folks, I don't know if you saw that, but that was the sweet collection there.
Light refreshments.
Goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness me, it was first class. I think I only had a brownie, one of those curly whirly things, and a biscuit, and that was it. I was being good. I was being very, very good. But it was absolutely brilliant, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was very well done, and yeah. And Tim, my friend Tim, was there, and Tim agrees. He says yes.
Not those kind of biscuits, unfortunately, Jim. I'd have been very happy to sit and eat a plate of those.
So that's what I was about to say, because that's something that round about this time of year I should actually be sitting down to in the morning.
Me too.
What kind of biscuits are we talking about then?
Two post up from Tim. Jim
biscuits and gravy.
any gravy to go with those biscuits.
Yeah,
I
Because
don't get that. Explain that reference to me.
America biscuits and gravy, sausage gravy. It's the best. Looks
White-
awful.
white
tastes
sausage
amazing.
gravy with biscuits are a little bit like a savoury scone.
Mm.
Chris,
Yeah,
does that-
There is no way to present it. Jen's right. There's no way to present that dish
No.
in an attractive way. It
Yeah,
looks
it
like,
looks like
an
dog stick.
Yeah.
Michelin standard, it is never going to
No, but it's so good.
It's
It lines
it's
your belly,
basically
doesn't it?
two like baked scones with a white cream bacon grease based sauce on top. It's lush.
It's
With
mega.
some nice big bits of sausage and stuff.
Yep. That's why we have a shorter life expectancy here.
But as I say, round
right in
about
that.
now is traditionally when I'm in the US, but I can't.
Yeah, same.
I
Not
can't
happening
go
this
there
year.
because of
Mm.
various issues.
Right, I'm completely. I don't know how to react to that.
Your ghast is flabbered, is it?
It is. It's absolutely flabbered here. I'm just having a look. Paul Voyle, this is a very good point. Paul Voyle says, "Is this the Biscuit podcast? It's the Interesting Modelling Company."
Is there any reason it shouldn't be?
Now, can I just say, Jim? I don't know, Jim Alticott. I don't know if you saw my post, but you should try a meal at Skyway for that A36 because I'm absolutely convinced that he will have one. If not, he'll be able to put you onto at least the Italeri issue of it, which does have a better decal shape.
I was just having a think. Have I got one up in the attic? No, I've got the P51B/C, but I haven't got any more.
So the Accurate Miniatures A36 only had the one decal option in it, which was the one
Right.
with the
Mhm.
mission stripes down the side. Italeri later reissued it in one of their packages with one of their super decals, which was about the size of a carpet, and covered about 5 or 6 different aircraft, including, I believe, the one and only A36 in RAF markets. So I'm pretty sure that if anybody can find one, Emil at Skyway in Seattle will, if he hasn't already got one on the shelf. And my friend Chris will vouch for Emil's ability to find increasingly obscure stuff almost at the click of a finger. So yeah,
It just gravitates towards Emil. That's just the way it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a model black hole. Everything is sucked into Emil's shop eventually.
he posted recently he'd acquired a collection, and someone had literally walked into the shop and kind of gone, "Would you buy this collection?" And he was like, "How many is it?" And it was a couple of thousand.
That's
Not
Seattle.
mine,
for
is
you.
But you see these kit collections. I went to Crystal. Say last time I was over there, I was at the show that Chris hosts in the San Francisco area. Gone blank now. Where was it?
It was in Fremont.
In Fremont, and walked
Right there.
in, and Chrissy's first words to me were, "Don't stop and talk to me. Go and buy some kits off those people because they're selling classic car kits." And they were doing them for $20 a pop.
Yeah.
Things that over here would be £200 and £300. So-
Here we go, Jen. Mark Thompson says, "Messaged Will, Jen, loads posted Saturday, tracked. Hope that answers question of where's my Sea Fury."
Yeah,
So-
I think he said it was going to get shipped out on Monday. So
Okay.
yeah, it's just a bit disappointing not to get it on the day, honestly, for various selfish YouTube reasons. But yeah.
Dave Fleming says the RAF had one A36 in UK and 4 in Italy. So
Weren't
there we
they
go.
aircraft they acquired from an American unit? And they were in torch markings, if I remember correctly. The one that was in the UK was at Boscombe Down, I'm pretty sure of it. There you go. That's the level of my anorak, I'm afraid, on that particular aircraft. It was one of my all-time favourite aircraft. So
Well, there we go, folks. Start digging up A36 information. I'm trying to remember the Frog P51A. Was that an A36? Because I'm sure that kit had dive brakes on it.
it was a bit of a mishmash because it had the long intake as well, didn't it, on the nose? And yeah, just seeing that by Jim, that's scary. But yeah, so
What was that? Here we go. Amazingly, one collection turned over for sale allegedly numbered near 18,000 kits. Goodness me, that makes me feel better now. And Dave Fleming says, yeah, you had US camo, but RAF markings. I'm going to have to look them up. That sounds interesting.
So again, it sounds like they were American aircraft that were passed into RAF service, doesn't it? Because obviously in Italy, they were coming from North Africa and over in the main, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds interesting.
And
here we go. Dave Swindle says Italian RAF A36s were olive drab neutral grey acquired from the United States Army Air Force. Brilliant. No, this is every day is a school day, everybody. So fabulous stuff. Right.
Strikingly pretty aeroplane.
Yes, it is. I mean, like I say, I built the Accurate Miniatures one, blah blah blah, that long ago, and I remember enjoying that, and it was terrific kit. It really was. Right, shall we launch on to the first news item for tonight, or the second news item tonight? We have featured this before, and we make no apologies for featuring it again. This is Airscale's 32nd scale Dornier 17Z. Now, from what I have been reading on their Facebook page, it seems that the apologies to Airscale if I've misread this, is that the major components, the airframe parts, will be injection molded, but I think everything else is going to be a mix of 3D printing and other mediums. This looks quite phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, if they can get this to market, this is going to be one hell of a kit. I think I'm not going to say caveat, it's going to come at a price, and I saw Airscale were saying it's going to be somewhere in the region of about £500. So if you want a Dornier 17Z, start saving up. But this does look to really be pushing the limits of what can be done as a model.
£500 isn't that so bad when you think how much was the Border Lancaster when it came out? That was
That's true.
So it's it's in that ballpark. It's not a small aeroplane.
No, it's a big old lump, and this is one of those things that it's a one-off project. So if you really want to put your heart and soul into something, yeah.
Notice
I mean, I've got to say, these renders, that surface detail looks phenomenal.
I noticed there were some pictures of the of a Kaus nose as well there.
Yep.
That's the Night Fighter, isn't it? The interim Night Fighter version. He does say he was only having a play. I did notice that in his notes. I was having a play, so I designed this. And then you all get excited about it because the Night Fighter's the one that some of us really would like. Yeah, thanks, lads. So, yeah. Pretty.
I admire the attention to detail there. You see the rudimentary but effective guards to keep the gunners from shooting their own aircraft.
Yeah,
there. That's a nice touch. And it's a really interesting airplane. And opening up the engines is a nice touch too, especially if you're paying a bunch of money for the model.
I think he said he's hoping to have test shots ready and available for viewing for Telford. I believe that's the intention. I don't think the kit will be out yet by then, but I think he's hoping to have samples to view at Telford. He did have some 3D printed parts at last Telford of it that he'd already done, just sort of low res test pieces. But this is his personal Holy Grail kit. So he's putting a lot into it. But I'm glad he's taken a step back from fully 3D printing it, I have to say, because the Defiant kit has been challenging.
Yeah, whereabouts are you with that at the moment, Jen?
It's almost finished. It's upside down now. Its aerials are drying, so that's how close to finished it is. And once I got past the point of building it, obviously it's just normal, because once you get into painting and finishing, it's the same as anything else. But the building of it was quite hard work. And the problem is that it's so easy for it to be a 2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of deal, because it's not a small model and it's quite heavy, and you're moving it around and you keep on slapping it into things on the workbench and what have you. And because it's made of the most brittle material known to man, it's super easy to break it. And then you're going back and fixing things and reinforcing things and doing stuff over. You can't even drill it. For example, how brittle it is, you can't drill it because it just chips out.
Ooh.
You need to really be able to use reamers and things like that. It's difficult, honestly. So I'm pleased that he's decided, to go ahead with injection molded main parts and just use the 3D printed resin for all of the luscious detail. Makes a lot more sense.
Nick Brown says his Typhoon is a beautifully designed kit. Can't wait for the bubble top conversion coming soon from Airscale.
Yeah. Again, he's decided that rather than retooling the whole thing, I think he's doing a conversion kit to enable you to take a corridor one and make it into a bubble top. I don't have that kit as yet. I don't have enough £300 sitting around spare to drop on kits like this, unfortunately. But
I feel your pain with the 3D printed thing. I have a racing Skyline kit that's currently stalled because it needed replacement wheels. So I got some from the 3D printed source. And obviously with a Tamiya wheel, you have a face and a shaft that goes into a polycap setup. Push them in, and the habit is to just wiggle them a little bit to locate, and all the pins just sheared off the back of the wheels. So now I have brake calipers with the shaft stuck in them and wheels you can't attach to them, and I can't get them back out again because as soon as they just break off in lumps. So it came very close to becoming a flying Nissan Skyline, and it's in its box. The replacement wheels are due shortly, and
I did the same with my undercarriage. My wheel hub was quite a tight fit onto the axle, and I snapped it, and I had to fix it with engineering, and it was extremely difficult to do. And again, this is another thing. You see this plethora of beautifully detailed 3D printed undercarriage sets kicking about, coming onto market, and they've all got the metal rod that goes through the center, which is great for the vertical load, but it's not supporting the axle at all. That's the bit that's going to snap as soon as you, as much as throw an angry glance in its general direction, it's going to snap. So it's a really tricky material. So at the minute, although it looks like the next big thing is 3D printed everything, but actually not quite.
Well, it's funny you say that, Jen, because the next news item, this is seamless. This is the next news item it's going to be the prototype Spitfire from IBG or IBG's side shoot. And this is, it's pretty much going to be 3D printed kit with, I think there is some photo etch in there. K5054 though, I mean, goodness me, what an iconic aeroplane. And even at this early stage of the Spitfire's evolution, it's unmistakably, it's almost there, isn't it, in terms of a design?
Is it all 3D printed, or are they using 3D printed bits to change their Mark 1?
I think for this, because so much of the there's almost nothing from what I understand, there's almost nothing on K5054 that is common with your Mark 1s or your Mark 5s. So you are, from what I understand, you are starting from the ground up, really.
Right.
I might have got that wrong. I'm hoping somebody in the comments can put me right
the main fuselage is broadly similar, but
anything from
The outline is right, but if you look at the panel lines, they're quite different on the wings and the tails to a production Spitfire.
My understanding is everything from the firewall back to the tail brake on every Spitfire,
Yes.
including K504, 54 is the same.
Yeah.
It is in terms of dimensions, but in terms of details. And Dave Swindle says no, all 3D Ian Hartup. So there we go. It looks like this is an entirely 3D printed kit. But
£50, is that for that?
For a 72nd scale Spitfire. Yeah, okay.
Bargain.
I'm saying nothing.
All right, I'm going to buy one just to see what it's like. I think you'll get away with 3D print on a small model like that, though, because the weight is less of an issue, isn't it?
I just don't know that realistically. I mean, if you particularly as they point out that there are further kits coming for stage 2 and 3 and 4 of that aircraft development at 50 quid a shot, that's 200 quid to make. Yeah, no.
There you go.
No, I couldn't justify that if it was me. Mind you, this is the man that turns 40 quid kits into 120 quid projects really easily, but no.
I do like that
collection, but just one of them.
I do like that one in the, I think it was called Supermarine Blue or something. I do like that. But having said that,
Cerulean Blue.
Yeah, that to me looks like an exciting. That's like an exciting project, doesn't it? To do it in its actual first flight colours with the zinc chromate primer and the aluminium. Yeah, I'm liking the look at that.
There was a lot of argument back in the day, and Ian Huntley was involved in it, as to whether the cerulean blue that was on the Spitfire prototype was the same colour that was on the racing Supermarines, the S4 and the S5. The S6 it definitely isn't, but no one ever came up with a conclusive answer, because of course the S4 promptly ended up at the bottom of the Solent, and the S5 was repainted at some point. So there was always a bit of a could it be, was it, did they just have the paint line around kind of thing and use it? But no, it's whatever it is. It was a pretty looking aeroplane.
Yeah, it's got wings. Well, cars have got wings as well. So yeah, there we go. Dave Swindle reminds us you do get a Mutt Summers figure thrown in as well with the IBG kit. So, right, shall we move? Yeah, shall we move on to more news? Quite literally, fine molds. Because this is quite a mammoth set of releases from fine molds in Japan. I tend to think of fine molds as the refined Hasegawa, which is a ridiculous statement because Hasegawa are already incredibly refined. But there we go. So this is what is coming from fine molds. The zeros we will pick up with in the next but one news item. But if you have a look here, we've got new Phantoms in 72nd scale, and we've got new Starfighters in 72nd scale. There are other things there as well, but we'll pick up on them next week. So Starfighters, Phantoms. So what we've got here are scrolls down for notes. F4G Wild Weasel, which is this boxing. So there we have the Wild Weasel schemes in the low-vis colours. This is the new set of parts that are going into the kit to make it an F4G. The next release they're going to be doing is F4G Southeast Asia, which is obviously your classic Vietnam schemes. And there are two there, one in Southeast Asia scheme, another one in the Euro scheme, which I do like those low-vis ones. And the new bits again. And then there's going to be a Luftwaffe boxing.
That'd be an interesting one. That's an early Luftwaffe F4F scheme with the 2-tone and the big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And there's
looking-
an American one down there in Luftwaffe colours, which is quite
Right,
curious.
no, that's the training. The
right.
the German training aircraft. They were based in Conus.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's
Okay.
an F4F.
I'm sharing my ignorance here of Luftwaffe Phantoms. And then they're also doing 2 new F-104G starfighters. So this first boxing is German Navy. I love that scheme. I just think that's class on wings, isn't it? It's just such a fabulous looking scheme. And here are the sprues. This does not look like a massively complicated kit, does it?
The little red box at the top is those nano sprues, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the really finely molded stuff that they put in a lot of them. They do seat belts in that range as well.
Yeah,
Just phenomenal.
I do believe the nano stuff is actually molded in ABS plastic as well, which
softer,
isn't
a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, but it isn't a problem for us because most of the solvents that we use these days will coat with ABS plastic. So yeah, I'm really curious about this because that does not look massively complex, does it? I think I'm sorry.
What's its competition? The Hasegawa kit, really, isn't it? And
the Revell one.
No, that canopy, the canopy in the Revell one's awful. I'd say the Hasegawa one, really.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying the Revell kit is fairly recent, but yeah.
Just rough.
And they're also doing a Luftwaffe boxing as well. Beautiful box art, this, by the way. And there are your Luftwaffe schemes. It's just German starfighters look fabulous, don't they? But then name me a country that flies the starfighter where the schemes don't look gorgeous.
But the thing is, we used to see those at air shows over here.
Yeah.
In the 80s. And yeah, just such a stunning aeroplane.
This is model decal territory, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here we have again. These are the sprues going into this kit. Then they're doing
two-seater, by the way.
Sorry,
are they doing a two-seater?
I'm not entirely sure at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. If you look at the sprues there's no reason why they couldn't, because everything that's single seat is on a separate frame there. So could be done. And then they're also doing an American air-to-air missile set. Rob Monfils put me onto this, so thank you, Rob. There are the sprues for it. And
because there are no missiles in those Wild Weasel kits, by the way.
Yep, and there are your markings and color schemes for it as well. So some pretty neat stuff coming from Feinwald. What would be your grab of that, Jen? Which out of those ones would you be looking at?
Either the Luftwaffe Phantom or the Marineflieger Starfighter. Love that scheme.
Yep.
Same as you.
Yep. Is the right answer.
Tornado in that. The early Tornado Marineflieger scheme. Absolutely love it.
They were in the same horizontally split, weren't they?
I have memories of the Airfix MRCA kit, and that came with speculative camouflage schemes in there, one of which was Marineflieger one in the, is it basalt grey and white?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I like the fluorescent tip tanks on the Starfighter.
Yeah.
It looks really, I really like that scheme.
I'm just going to play catch up with the comments here for a second. Andy King says, I remember seeing the German F-104 display team at air shows in the early 90s. Andy also says the German Marine F-104 scheme is a classic. Lox 9, I like the way they're thinking this. Feinwald's group build, anyone? I like that. I like that. I'm in. I'm in. Dave Fleming says, didn't the guy who started Fine Molds work for Hasegawa and started Fine Molds in his spare time?
Yes, apparently.
Anybody out
Lox9
there?
said earlier that his kit price limit was £50 per item, so he might be struggling a bit with some Fine Molds kits because they're not the cheapest, are they?
Yeah,
Are there any prices on any of those?
Um,
no,
So that
but
Phantom's like 40 quid, isn't it? 35, 40 quid.
Yeah.
actually,
F15s are pushing 50 quid a shot.
Yeah.
I'm just going online here. Actually, the Jadlam are doing the Fine Molds F4s for £32.95 at the moment. Free postage as well. Hobbylink Japan are doing the F4F for £19.82 plus £8.49 delivery. So these don't look. I know you've always got the lottery of something turning up in the post and going through customs, but these don't look
Well,
hideous. Let's put it that way.
Hobby Search Japan advertising the Wild Weasel Gulf War at a pre-release of 4,250 yen, which according to them is £19.73.
And Dave Fleming says someone called Drew Manton. I never heard of him. He says did a nice YouTube review of the F104. And Andy King says regarding the Fine Molds F4s, didn't Drew highlight the fit of the underside wing panels? I know Drew didn't like that insert that goes across the top of the fuselage. He was quite strong about that, and quite right too. It just doesn't work. And Philip Jones says the group build would be nice. I have some great BF 109 kits by Fine Molds in the stash, as I suspect that many viewers also have. I'm liking this. I'm liking the idea of a Fine Molds group build. So I think that's a goer. Right, next news item. Let's try that again. Next year, we have covered this before, but we have more information on this. This is Gecko's 1/16 scale Chaffee M24. That's a great big box, but what a terrific looking tank. I always think the Chaffee's just got a nice balance to it, doesn't it?
While we're talking about prices then, Gecko just issued their Matilda 1 in 35th scale. Now, okay, it's not a big vehicle, but if that was some brands, you'd be looking 50, 60 quid, and it's under £30.
Really?
So this could actually be, if you're wanting to build 16th armour and you fancy putting your toe in the water, this could be quite a good value starting point.
Actually,
But,
I'm just going to go online.
Didn't Tamiya just announce a Chaffee as well?
Who, sorry?
Didn't Tamiya announce a Chaffee in 35th scale recently?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, they're doing one in 35th scale.
Buses.
I'm just having a look here. The Gecko Chaffee is kind of hovering around the £100 mark at the moment. So it's not, I don't think for a 1/16 scale kit, I don't think that's unreasonable. And as we're seeing here, there's quite a lot to play with. There's quite a bit to keep you occupied. It goes back a bit. Yeah, I think you're going to get a week's worth of fun doing those photo etch straps, quite frankly. But if I was to build something in 1/16 scale, it would either be a Kettenkrad, or it would be a Bren carrier, or it would be one of these.
What about the Grief? Is it Border Models have just released the Grief?
I think they have, yeah.
Was it Border?
Yes.
That's, I think, around £70. I think that would be a great starter at 16th scale if you wanted to dip a wee toe. But yeah, I like the Chaffee too. It's a very cool tank.
Just having a quick look here. Sorry, I'm just no, it's put me in touch with a grief counsellor, but that's not what I'm looking for. So not at the moment, anyway.
Someone was saying to me at our club meeting on Wednesday evening that one of these 16th scale vehicles has been announced, and it might be the Andy's Hobby 250. There's two in the box, or M3. No, it's they've done an M3. There's 2 kits in the box. That's
Good
interesting.
Lord.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Apparently, it was Das Werk that's done the grief, not
It's Das Werk. Yeah,
Polygon.
I've just
Yeah.
found it. Yeah. Yeah, Das Werk. Yeah, that looks fabulous. But yeah, look at the casting mark on that mantlet there. That is quite
Mr.
exceptional.
Pollard saying, what's he say? Doesn't give a rat's. That's interesting. It'd be interesting to see what he can do with that.
Right, here we go. Potty Mouth Pollard here says, I don't give a rat. He doesn't give a rat's Erling Haaland about 1/16th, but as that's my favourite vehicle of the Second World War, I may have to bite my lip. Bite your lip, sir, and mind your language at this hour of the evening. But yes, this looks terrific, doesn't it? What a time to be a modeler. I know we say that every week, but although I'm rather curious that they've done the 30 cal machine gun here, but they haven't done the cooling sleeve as photo etch. And I'm thinking, you what? Sorry, Ian?
I was just going to say the same thing actually. Although, have you seen Master kits? Master, not Master Kit, Master, the people that do the aerial, the Pitos.
Yeah.
Seen their 50 cal that they announced recently.
No, I haven't.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Is that what's the name of the company again? Master. I'm just going to be Master 50 cal. What scale are we looking at?
35th, if I remember correctly.
Right. Okay. I'm just Master.
They've done they do Pitos and
gun fairings, cannon fairings,
gun barrels, and all sorts of stuff in
static wicks.
Yeah.
7-second scale.
Yeah. They're mad. That I've got to say though, that tarp looks very good.
The undercuts on it look superb, don't they?
Spectacular. Slide molded by the look of it, isn't it?
Yeah. You get some springs for the suspension because there's like a working suspension, and also for the you can make the gun recoil as well. Somebody mentioned Master, and I have just gone on to share screen. I think this is what we're talking about, isn't it, Ian?
Not that, no.
No, that's a company called Master. And they're doing...
No, you're showing us a Gecko gun.
Yes, the Gecko gun and the Chaffee.
No, hang about. Oh, come on, JM, get your act together. Right, let's try that again. Share screen. Right, let's try that. I had it. Oh, goodness sake, come on, JM. It's been a long day. I was up at stupid this morning, and that's my excuse anyway. Right, is it that one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that does look quite spectacular, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very simple in terms of economical in how they've broken it down, but that does look good.
They are doing some absolutely wonderful work at the minute. They've just announced a whole range of new stuff, including a whip aerial in 48 scale for the new Tamiya Leopard.
Right.
With the spring, so it's built, it's designed so you can tie it down at the back of the vehicle as they are. Just, mad, but wonderful. It's where that website is one of those websites where you go in with the intention of buying a Pito for your Mirage 3, and then you come back and think, how have I just spent £175? It is that kind of site, and there's stuff on there that's they do an A10, the barrel. The in 148 scale, something like 25 parts plus extra bits.
Yeah,
all barrels and the center spindle and just then that's why I thought, oh, that's lovely. It's in 48 scale. Then I realized you can get almost the same thing in 72nd.
Mike Williams says, "Who puts fun in the same sentence as photo etch?" Well, I think Tim Perry probably does if he was watching tonight. And Paul Voyle says that looks very nice. Might be my first 1/16th scale tank. I'm with Paul on that one. It does look really, really tasty. And yeah, here we go. Mike Williams says the master brass gun muzzle for the A10 Thunderbolt is outrageous.
I agree entirely.
And Jim Altegott says that TACOM twin pack of M3 half tracks is very tempting. Well, I might have a look at that after the show.
It's not massively expensive either. It's because it's TACOM, and their prices are usually reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sarah Jane says photo etch, also known as the Devil's Metal.
I will now make Sarah Jane tremble.
Photo etch is fun.
That's all we're going to say, isn't it? Every time.
Photo etch is fun when you've got it finished and put in place. That's what I'm going to say.
That's the only time it's ever fit nice, yes.
Right, last two items for tonight, the penultimate item tonight, and we are back with Fine Molds. And Fine Molds are giving us, they're giving us two Type 51 zeros. Actually, not Type 51, two Type 21 zeros. So they're giving us this one, which is the Mitsubishi A2M2 Type 21 early type, Imperial Navy Okinawa. There's probably people thinking, well, how much more can you wring out of the Zero story? Answer, plenty. A bit like Spitfires, these ones will run and run and run. Again, Fine Molds, this looks to be brilliantly economical, doesn't it, in terms of how they've broken this kit down? Almost doesn't seem to be a wasted part there. And I'm assuming that...
Sorry, John, is this the one with the slide molded fuselage?
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, looking at that, definitely.
Yep. And they're also doing the Nakajima built A6M2 Type 21, which is Battle of the Eastern Solomons. Quite frankly, I think these are the more interesting color schemes. I do like those kind of mottly ones.
Mm.
And again, there are your sprues, but the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the ailerons are slightly different. And in fact, we've got a backwards and forwards here because there are mass balances with the Mitsubishi built one, but on the Nakajima one, there aren't. And I think those ailerons are slightly narrow and slightly kind of shorter on the Mitsubishi, on the Nakajima one. Anyway, there we go. So that looks rather tasty. Metal gun barrels, but also here we go. Nano aviation products. These are molded in ABS plastic. So these are Imperial Japanese Navy. World War II Imperial Japanese. Teeth in. Imperial Japanese Navy aircraft seat belt set. And there they are, as you can see, ABS plastic. And they do these across a range of scales. Mm. And these go back 14 years ago, 2012, for goodness sake. But yeah, that does look like pretty much winner Christmas dinner from Fine Molds. A Japanese kit company doing Mitsubishi Zeros. You ain't going to go wrong, are you?
Nope. One of the best models ever made was the Fine Mold 72nd scale A6M2 Type 21, which came out a while ago, and it came out in two parts with the Japanese modeling magazine. You had to buy 2 issues to get all the parts to build the model.
Yeah, I built that one as well.
And it built fantastically. And they know what they're doing as far as differences between the Nakajima built ones and the Mitsubishi built ones. Build the Nakajima ones, trust me, because you'll spend the next 10 years, every time you take the model out, you'll be looking for the mass balances because you're going to knock them off. Guaranteed. These little sons of guns hanging out under the wings there waiting to be knocked off.
Right, Tony Surridge. Goodness me. Hold on to your horses, everybody. Tony Surridge says Jadlam are doing the Tacom M3 twin pack at £60 pre-order.
Did say it wasn't that expensive. It's that's a great value price for that for two 16th scale M3 half tracks.
I think once I get paid, I might take advantage of that because I do like M3 half tracks as well.
Takes a
So
bit of space on your workbench.
okay. Gavin says he says the market for Zero is oversubscribed. I like your avatar, Gavin, but I completely disagree with that comment. I think you can't have too many zeros. And Travis Thompson says only early and mid-war zeros so far. No one's gotten to the late war ones yet. I'm just scrolling down. Scrolls down.
Tamir and Hassel are both on Type 52s, and both 72nd and 48. So, yeah.
Here we go. Jim Alcott says, I think those Tacom M3s are 35th scale. I was going to say.
I saw someone was saying something about the 16th scale one. I might have to do a bit. I might have to. Well, I can't do it right now because my phone's up here.
Yeah.
But I'll clarify for next week.
Mike Williams says, I use the Fine Molds Nano seatbelts on their 72nd scale F15J. They were almost as fine as Photo Etch. Right, last item for tonight. Any other business? Not any other business. Last item for tonight, and finally, it's Revell. You may have heard of them, and they are doing not that one. There we go. They are doing Das Boot, but this is Das Boot with a difference because this is a, shall we say, Lego? I think we will for the sake of
Lego-like.
Lego-like, right? Hold on to your horses, everybody, because this has it's a fairly simple kit. This it's only got 6,483 pieces. So
Unbelievable.
And it's, I think we were looking at the length there, 1270 centimeters. So that's just over 4 foot long. It's 156 scale, so it's not going to be small. But I don't know how much this is going to be selling for from Revell. But if this gets people interested in modeling who wouldn't necessarily build a model but are attracted because it is Lego-like construction, I don't see anything wrong with that. No. It's just a different form of model making.
So I don't think Lego do military subjects, do they? And I think that's your distinction.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is Revell 156 scale Das Boot brick kit. So is it something I would be likely to build? Probably not, but just because I wouldn't build it, I wouldn't want to put anybody else off of building it, because if it gets people engaged in the hobby, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Very, very big, and not these kind of things. I have friends who build these who are adults. You know, they build Lego stuff, Lego branded stuff, and also I'm sure this thing will be appealing to them because it's they're almost always enormous these days, and that thing look like it's got everything on a U-boat except for the smell.
I was looking at pictures of Lego's Helm's Deep the other day. They've done Helm's Deep, and they've done the 7-gated city that they Minas Tirith. And Minas Tirith's about 4 foot tall.
Yeah. A friend of mine bought her kids the Hogwarts set, which is, you could have shot a film in it. It's enormous. So,
right, folks. Any other business?
So we're doing a car show in 2 weeks, aren't we?
2 weeks. We were going to do one tonight, but then Ian changed his mind. Explain yourself, Matt.
I reacted to an active situation with more pressing news and dutifully stood aside to allow you to talk about things with the wings.
Yeah, thank you.
So I've got some bits and pieces to talk about on the car show, some tools and stuff when we get to them that I have acquired that may be of use. But there's a kit arrived here. It's not quite as modern as the things that we've been talking about this evening. It may require some modeling skill to assemble.
Go on.
And basically it's older than everybody in the room. This
My goodness me.
is a vintage AMT kit. It's produced in 1962. It's a 1962 Chrysler Imperial hardtop. This is one of my grail kits. I've been looking for this for at least 10 years, and this came from Vinted.
Is that an original issue?
It is.
So it's not like a Vintage Classics reissue. It's the actual from the era.
There are things you can tell it by. You can tell it by the white tape that seals the box, because it's got its original seals on it still.
Good Lord.
I was a very happy man. Let's just say that. You're not going to chuck it together. Tires have disappeared and stuff. But how about that? The funny thing is with the Chrysler Imperial, it's a shape only its mother could love. It's a proper barge. So if you were to put it next to, here we go. There's that Toyota Corona. Give you an idea of size. Bear in mind, the Toyota Corona is not a small car. It's a 4-door saloon from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of my dad had a convertible 62 Imperial, and it was breathtakingly huge.
The disappointment is I missed the 62 Continental that the same vendor had, which would have been equally. But but it's still. But in the box, hang on, I'll show you. It's still got its as sent out advertising material for the forthcoming. The AMT's version of Scale Extra, which is a thing called Turnpike, and the original decals.
Nice.
Wow.
Which are actually not crazed for a change. Let me see if we can get a close up on them. Look at those. Aren't they lovely? They're a bit yellowed around the edges, but they haven't crazed, they haven't cracked. So I think that might actually be rescuable.
I'm
Hot Wheels
intrigued as to
tastic,
how they-
isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued as to how they've done those gradients.
Yeah, they're cool.
Litho printed. Yeah, it's litho printed. It's probably got a dot screen. It's probably got a very visible dot effect in reality. But yeah, that's
But when you think that's
1962. That's really quite incredible.
64, 65 years ago.
Yeah. That's amazing.
You sent your little thing off to get your brochure. But this is the instructions. When we talk about instructions in modern kits,
Yeah.
There was some pride goes into an instruction sheet that looks like that. You wouldn't believe that's a 65-year-old kit, would you?
No.
That absolutely stunningly. Oh, I got all excited when that arrived, let me tell you.
No, quite rightly.
I've got a few others from that era, but that's one that I've been after for a while. There are some that are very, very rare. That kit can't ever come back. The tooling no longer exists. There are some from that period, so the 64 Ford, the 64 Falcon, the 63 Nova, where they altered them in the 70s and 80s into what they called altered wheelbase racers. They shortened the wheelbase and moved the wheel arches about, and those tools were effectively shot. What round two are doing is they're going back to them and reissuing some of them with replacement body shells in modern tool body shells to go with the existing parts, but not always. They have reissued the 63. They've completely retooled the 63 Nova wagon, which has come. There's two versions. There's a curbside sort of basic version with no detail, and there's one with all the customizing parts in it that were in the original kit. They're fabulous. We've had the conversation about what they might cost in what these things cost in the UK retail, but just the concept of it was fabulous. But that, for what I paid for it,
Are you going to reveal how much you paid for it?
Well, there's one currently on eBay in America at $375 with bids outstanding and 3 days to go.
Right.
40 quid shipped. Makes me a very, very happy boy.
That's. I think Ian wins
That
bargain of the year there.
was just thrilled by that, and it's a lovely. The box is,
That's why it's been so sunny up and down the country. It's because your smile, Ian, lit up the United Kingdom with your £40 purchase.
It's funny because I get the new kits. I buy new kits, but not as many as I used to do, if I'm honest. And I like them and I look at them, and then shortly after they end up on the shelf and in a queue. That won't. I'm going to probably be honest. I won't rush to build that. It'll sit up, as you know. I've got a fairly good collection of those classics in the shelf, but there are some things that you've wanted for a long time, and that's really quite high up on my list. So it's lovely. That comes, and it isn't a new kit, and I know what's in the box. There's some customizing parts that fit where they touch. The glass is a little bit scuffed. The decals are very good. The fit of it isn't superb, but I don't care. It's that subject matter that matters. It's that I've got it, and it's I think that's one of the reasons why things like the Airfix Vintage Classics do so well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There is a nostalgia element to that. When they announced that they were doing the hovercraft, and
yes,
so many people were like, and you could see. I mean, there was people walking around with it. Was at Telford when it just come out, I think, a couple of years back, and there were huggings of people sitting at the behind stands with the hover, just spread in front of them, and I was one of them. And really, that kind of works, doesn't it? But there you go.
Right. Any other business, Chris?
That's it for me.
No, Jen?
Not for me, no.
No. Okay. Apart from, do you want any biscuits, Jen? Because I got loads here. I got absolutely loads and loads.
I always want biscuits, of course.
No, I haven't got. Actually, I am going to say that after Jen told me off for picking up some biscuits, who went back to the stand and was then shoving them in her pockets?
No, I did it while you were there.
There, I know exactly. So it was a good event, though. I enjoyed that. Right.
It was.
On that note, fingers crossed, we'll be back next Sunday for another Sunday service. Might do some more fine molds next week. Might do the military stuff, and then the week after that, Mr. Hartup, sir, it will be the Sunday car service.
Yeah,
so that will be...
next weekend is the key model show at NEC.
Yeah. So towards the end of April, we'll do another car service. I'm just going to do. I'm with Andy King here. He says I'm eyeing the re-release of the Tamiya 35th scale M3 half track for nostalgia reasons. I want to build one of them because it was one of those kits as a kid that I would have loved to have built and could never afford it, quite frankly. So it's such an iconic Tamiya kit. I'm up for that. So and can't wait to see what this shiz Mr. Farmer's got for me. That's
on the subject of the NEC thing. Is anybody's there and mooching around, and there's a big quite a substantial car display being put on, which I'm involved with organising. If anybody is passing by and wants to say hello, they will be more than welcome to come and share 10 minutes of insanity with us. I know Jen's going to be there anyway, so her particular section of insanity is a little bit further away from us, I believe, from the plan I've seen, but we'll all be chatting and welcome to talk to people.
I look forward to updates and photographs on a future show, quite frankly. So I'm setting you to a task to catalogue and record what you get up to, and to report back here at your earliest convenience, with or without biscuits. So on that note, big thank you to Jen, to Chris, to Fer, and to Ian. Big thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. God bless you, giving up an hour and 20 minutes of your precious Sunday. Really do appreciate it. So fingers crossed, we'll see you in a week's time. Until then, build some models and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.